Those of you who have not visited Mega Mall recently, maybe you should also visit and see what's the development there. And if you are religious, then you can visit the chapel. It's a beautiful chapel there on the fifth floor. No?
What kind of rental stores will you have there, Jeff, in Mega Mall? What concepts will you be introducing, or that's still a secret?
Not really, but I think if you look at the current landscape in terms of tenants that we have, most of you, I guess, would have noticed that we have brought in new brands, no, international brands that are very popular, the likes of Uniqlo. So and hopefully the retail side will continue to bring in more brands, and this will be located mostly in the SM malls.
Okay, Rose, for next year.
For SMDC, our plans for next year would basically be the same as what we've had in the past. We will be market-driven, and our launching of projects would also be timed in regard to the take-up. So as I said, market-driven, cost-efficient, and as Mr. Shaw mentioned, we have taken a back seat right now to retool ourselves to make sure that we will be ready for the future challenges.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at another 5 park-in hotels for the next 6 to 7 years. What I failed to mention earlier is that we are looking at developing a 5-star 400-room hotel right behind SMX Convention Center. And it's going to be mixed use with retail and locator food and beverage restaurants. And we have not engaged any hotel company at this point in time, so can't say anything about that. But hopefully we will be doing a groundbreaking within the next few weeks. The philosophy of the park-in hotel or park-in hotels is we are looking at developing and attaching them to malls. So we're looking at the business side of it, business corporate FITs or fully independent travelers and leisure.
Chito?
For BDO, I guess it's going to be more of the same. We will continue working on our target markets, try to grow our revenues at a double-digit pace, manage our costs by keeping operating expense growth at single-digit levels. And with the way asset quality has been behaving, hopefully we can make do with lower provisioning moving forwards. And those are, I think, going to be the main contributors to profit growth next year.
How will you use your $1 billion?
Slowly and judiciously.
So we have two people here with a lot of money in their pockets, Mr. Shaw and Chito. Anyway, so that's how, I guess that's how the group prepares for the future, no? I mean, you all know that SM is all about sustainability. So we won't hesitate to make, preparations, even if at times it will affect the numbers. Okay. So are there other questions? Yes. Jeanette.
Hi, good afternoon. I just have several questions on your Atlas and Bell investments. I'd like to know, are there changes? I mean, what's your current stake in both companies? In Atlas and Bell, how many percent do you hold effectively? How much have you invested in terms of amount of money? And how should we look at this portfolio investments, given that these are very long gestation and would require a lot of capital? So maybe just color on your strategic view on both investments. Thank you.
You are not a reporter, I guess. The way you ask questions, you are a research-oriented, very detailed. Let me start with Bell. As a group, we own Bell's. When I say group, which that include the SM and the C family. We own about 60% to about 63% of Bell. No? Our investment there would be a long term. As you know, Bell is the developer of Highland Prime and Tagaytay, no? Yung mga property doon. And this property, you cannot replace this property. I mean, so it is for us a long-term project. We know that we have to infuse money now for future growth because we see that the Philippines, the future, one of the brightest spots in the Philippine economy is still the tourism because we got a lot to offer. It's a question of us and the government, zeroing on the infrastructure, on the peace and order, and I think the Philippines will grow its tourism. Then the Bell is also involved in the gaming industry, and they already signed up as announced. No, they already signed up with Melco Crown. Melco Crown is they own the City of Dreams in Macau. I don't know if you have been to Macau. If you see the City of Dreams, it's a big complex. No, it's a big complex composed of 3 big towers. No, so they have the experience and the background about gaming, and they are now here, trying to develop and help us on the interior design, interior decoration, and interior work of the Bell. The Bell expect to open up soft opening by last quarter of next year or early 2014. So that will be. On Atlas, it's a portfolio, part of our portfolio investment. And those of you that is following Atlas, we already turned around Atlas, no? Before we bought Atlas, well, our stake there is, together with Banco de Oro, our stake there is almost 35%. We already turned around from a operating in a losing proposition of Atlas, is now having a profit, in fact, starting this year. Their income now will be about 2 billion pesos this year, and so on. They can already start declaring cash dividend by next year. And they have also cleaned up the production bottleneck by increasing the production capacity from 40 to 60 tons per month. And then the grade, the quality of the ore that they extract is also improving. So we see future for Atlas.
I think the beauty about Atlas also is, since it's a very old company, many of the employees there are second, third generations, taking care of the operations. And they have very good CSR operations as well, highly integrated with the community. So, and then there's a very good reforestation program, so that areas that had been mined before, very green now. So it's quite a good operation. So if you ever have a chance to go to Toledo City, let us know. We can make arrangements for Atlas to show you the property. Are there other questions? Yes, Jeanette.
Do you intend to consolidate the entire 60%? I mean, whatever percentage that the family owns.
Which one is that? Bell. We will, for accounting purposes, we just, it's a, how do you call it, equity method of accounting. It will not be consolidated because SMIC per se, and SMIC does not have the majority holding on that.
Is there really a slowdown in the take-up? Because you're using some euphemism that you're preparing for, you're being more conservative, but
You're asking if there's a slowdown in the take-up?
Yeah, in the property sector.
There's no slowdown at all. We are actually just calling this is like managing it, but in layman's term, maybe it's just a change oil. we're just maintaining our position. We'd like to be very lean and mean for next year. But no, there's no slowdown in the take-up. As I mentioned, a 50% growth in pre-sales is not exactly small.
Yeah, but I'm looking towards next year. What's your projection of the growth in the take-up? Because
We would probably look at double digits, maybe. As Mr. Shaw would say, 10, maybe 10, 12%.
the
But
people
our
line.
numbers, yes,
The
bottom
bottom
line. Even and the growth in sales, like I said, this is largely market driven. So I wish I could exactly say what will happen next year, but we will be ready for whatever the market will throw our way.
So, I'm just looking at your numbers. You have close to 49,000 units still aren't being sold. So
No, 49,000 units are the units that we have launched ever since.
okay.
The
sold is
yeah.
80%, 39, close to 40,000.
So you're not adding to that next year?
We have in the pipeline projects that we can launch the moment we feel it's necessary. But right now, we still have enough inventory, and we'd like to be very watchful insofar as our timing is concerned.
Just to add to that, your inventory could last you up to when, based on the pace of growth that you're seeing?
The current inventory, which is like, if they show this, no, it's like another maybe 9 to 10,000. That could last us maybe 6 months. Depends again on market, no. So, but like I said, we have projects that we can immediately launch should the need arise. So we're not worried about that.
Thanks.
I guess to give you an idea, last year they were saying that they were looking at a pre-sales growth of between 10 and 30%, but they're doing at 50. So that means the market is performing better than what SMDC expected. So it's just really also preparing for the cyclicality, because everybody says that housing is cyclical, you know. So it's good to be prepared for cyclicality.
I guess this has to do with the culture and within SM, no? That SM, we do business in a conservative way. For instance, in funding, we fund whenever the market is liquid, whenever opportunity is there, although we don't need the fund. No. So we keep it for future growth. And we are willing to absorb the additional cost of carrying, you know, for future growth. Another example of conservatism, for instance, in the case of construction, accounting-wise, you can interest on, let's say you have loan interest, you capitalize the interest into construction costs, no? But in our case, we recognize interest as cost, as expenses, no? So we try to be in a conservative way so that we are ready for any eventualities in the economy. No?
Okay, any other question? So if you want more quotable quotes, you can just ambush our business heads later. But in the meantime, I'd like to thank everyone.